From best-selling author and illustrator duo Jamie Lee Curtis and Laura Cornell comes a tale that celebrates the smallest acts of generosity. And now we bring you The Kindness Book, an original animated movie from our studio. Once upon a time in a faraway place, there lived a little girl who had lost her way a bit. The world had become a dark and gloomy place for her. Nothing made her happy anymore. She spent most of her days locked in her room alone. One day, while rummaging around in the attic, she found an old book hidden behind some boxes. Curious, she took it down and opened it. It was a beautiful book with blank pages. As she turned through it, she noticed faint markings along the edges of the pages. At first she thought they were just lines, but then she realized they were words. The words formed sentences. The world is full of kindness, they read. All you have to do is look for it. Something about those words made her feel a warmth spread through her chest, a feeling she hadn't felt in a long time. Could it be true? Is there still kindness left in the world? Determined to find out, she decided to leave her house and go out into the world to look for kindness. At first, nothing seemed different to her. The world looked just as gloomy as she remembered. But then, as she rounded a corner, she saw something that made her stop in her tracks. There was a young boy sitting on a bench feeding some birds. He had a gentle smile on his face, and the birds seemed to trust him completely. She wanted to walk past without anyone noticing, but the girl couldn't help herself. She stopped to watch him. The boy must have sensed her gaze because he turned his head and looked up at her. "Hello," he said with a kind smile. "Would you like to feed the birds with me?"
Yes.
His question took her by surprise. She hadn't expected anyone to speak to her, let alone ask her to do something. Sure," she replied hesitantly. The girl sat down beside the boy and watched as he sprinkled birdseed on the ground. Moments later, a flock of colorful birds descended on the offering, chirping and fluttering around them. It was so peaceful, so beautiful, as the girl found herself smiling back at the boy. For the first time in a long time, she felt a sense of calm wash over her. It was a feeling she couldn't quite place, but it was wonderful. She knew in that moment that this small act of kindness had brought a flicker of light back into her world. As the sun began its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the two children continued to feed the birds until every last one had flown away. The girl stood up and brushed some crumbs off her dress. "Thank you for showing me this," she told the boy. "It's been a long time since I've felt this happy." The boy beamed at her. "Any time, friend. Now come on, I'll walk you home." The girl hesitated for a moment, surprised by her own emotions. She wasn't used to feeling this way, but it was so nice she didn't want it to end. "Well," she finally said, taking a deep breath, "maybe we could meet here tomorrow and feed the birds again." The boy's face lit up with excitement. "That sounds great. I'll see you then." The girl waved goodbye and started walking home. As she walked, she noticed that the darkness of the world seemed less oppressive, as if a tiny flame had been lit within her chest. She couldn't understand it, but it filled her with a sense of wonder. When she got home, she went straight to her room and opened the book. On the next clean page, she wrote, "The world is full of kindness. All you have to do is look for it." Below the words, she drew a picture of herself and the boy feeding the birds. As she drifted off to sleep, she couldn't help but smile. Maybe the world wasn't as dark and gloomy as she'd thought. Maybe there was still good left in it. Maybe all she had to do was keep looking for it. The next day, she put on her warmest coat and hat and ran out into the crisp autumn air. She walked quickly to the park, eager to meet her new friend and continue their mission to bring light back into the world. As she approached the bench, she saw the boy waiting for her, a small smile on his face. "You came," he said, his eyes shining with happiness. "Of course I came," she replied, laughing. "Wouldn't miss our bird feeding for the world." Together, they shared stories and laughter as they sprinkled birdseed on the ground, watching with delight as the birds gathered around them. In that moment, the girl realized that the warmth she felt had nothing to do with the scarf around her neck. It was the kindness she shared with the boy that brought a smile to her face and a song to her heart. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting long shadows on the ground, they continued their work, bringing light and joy to the park and to themselves. As the days grew shorter and the nights grew colder, the girl looked forward to her time at the park with the boy. They became the best of friends, sharing their dreams and fears as they fed the birds and chased away the darkness. One day, the girl arrived at the park to find the boy waiting for her. his usual smile replaced by a frown. "What's wrong?" she asked, her heart sinking when she saw tears in his eyes. I don't have any bird seed," he said, his voice trembling. "My family doesn't have enough money to buy more, and I don't know what to do." The girl's heart went out to him. She understood what it was like to feel helpless and alone. She reached out and took his hand, her eyes shining with determination. "Don't worry," she said. "We'll make the birdseed ourselves." Together, they collected fallen berries, crushed nuts and seeds, and mixed it all together to form a nourishing treat for the birds. Although their offering wasn't as neat as the packaged birdseed, the birds loved it. As they watched the birds feast on their offering, the girl and the boy shared a grateful smile. They might not have had much, but they had each other and their kindness, and that was all that mattered. As the weeks passed, the girl and the boy continued to care for the birds, their friendship growing stronger with each passing day. But as winter approached, the harsh winds and heavy snow made it difficult for them to visit the park. One day, the girl received an invitation to a birthday party. She was excited to go, but she could unhelp but feel a twinge of guilt knowing that her friend would not be able to join her. As she put on her prettiest dress and did her fanciest hair, she thought of the boy and wondered if he was all right. During the party, as the other children played games and ate cake, the girl couldn't focus on the festivities. She kept thinking of the boy and the birds, worrying about how they were spending the day. When the party finally ended and she was back home, she rushed to the attic to grab the kindness book. She flipped through the pages, searching for inspiration on how she could bring more light into the world. Suddenly, an idea struck her. Why not bring the kindness to the people who couldn't leave their homes? She bundled up in her warmest clothes and set off into the snowy night. She walked from house to house, ringing doorbells and delivering small gifts to those who couldn't leave their homes. With each act of kindness, she felt a warmth spread through her chest, chasing away the winter chill. As she approached the last house on her list, she noticed a faint glow coming from inside. Curiosity piqued. She stepped closer and gasped. Inside, she saw the boy sitting in a chair next to a crackling fireplace, his face illuminated by the dancing flames. "What are you doing here?" she whispered, her voice filled with awe. "I couldn't get to the park," he replied softly, "but I thought maybe we could share the kindness with those who needed it most." The girl's eyes widened in understanding. In that moment, she knew that their friendship was more than just a chance meeting. It was a bond of kindness that would light up their lives forever. Together they continued to bring joy to those around them, their hearts glowing with the warmth of shared kindness. So their story continues, a testament to the transformative power of friendship and love. And now we leave you with the words from the book, a reminder that the world is full of kindness. All you have to do is look for it. And remember, no act of kindness is too small to make a difference. You never know who you might inspire next. So, dear viewer, I invite you to embark on your own journey of kindness, big or small. Share a smile, lend a helping hand, or simply offer a listening ear. The world needs your kindness, and together, we can make it a brighter place for everyone. Thank you for joining us on this tale of kindness. If you enjoyed this story, please take a moment to show your support. Your likes and comments mean the world to us and help us continue creating more heartwarming content. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to stay updated on our latest adventures. Until next time, go forth and be kind. The world is waiting for you.